So now all we gotta do, guys, is stand here and whack at these guys, and we're gonna get tons of gold, tons of rotten flesh that we can trade for emeralds. Alright guys, today's the day. We're finally gonna make a gold farm, and this is the design that I'm gonna use. This is a mix between a farm that I saw Rayzworks design and I think a little touches of mumbo jumbo, I think, with this like centerpiece here. So this is what we're gonna build, and then this is our redstone contraption here underneath for all the items. So this is our project for today, with auto crafters to craft ingots and just a big mess down here. So I'm gonna start collecting on some items. We are gonna need quite a lot. And if we look at our material list here, the biggest thing we need is magma blocks. We need 73 stacks of magma blocks, so almost 3 shulker boxes, and then just a bunch of other random things. So we're gonna get started on collecting some items, and then we're gonna start building up this farm here. And if you guys do enjoy the episode, please make sure to subscribe to see more episodes just like this. It really helps the channel out. Thanks everyone. The first thing we're gonna have to figure out though is where we want to build this. So this farm is best built in a nether waste biome. So we're gonna turn on our overlay here for a second and find where the nether waste starts. So we'll start with this corner here, and I actually need to figure out how big this farm is. 1 second. So I marked out each of the corners for our gold farm, and we want this entire area to be in the nether waste. It says there on the bottom of the top left screen. So if we fly around here in free cam, you can see that this side almost, let's see, it cuts into the soul sand valley just a little bit. It might be right on the edge. It might be fine, but let's see, this block is not. So it might not cause any issues, but we don't want it in the soul sand valley at all, just because skeletons can spawn. So we're gonna have to shift it a little bit and find the perfect spot. All right, everyone, we got a new placement for our gold farm, have the corners all figured out. Now it's time to get to collecting. The first thing that we're gonna get is actually the magma blocks, because it's the worst one. And the easiest way to do this is just going along the nether waste here and finding like these big patches here in the netherrack. So if I can land here safely, these big patches of magma blocks tend to spawn down here near the lava, and they're actually giant patches that usually are into the ground and everything. So you can get quite a lot from just these alone. So we're gonna go running around mining these out, seeing how many magma blocks we can get. We should be able to get enough. This is always the worst part though. So we're gonna get working on that, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we are back. We have all of our magma blocks here in these 3 shulker boxes. If you open them up, you can see how much we have. So we have gathered quite a lot of stuff. Now the next thing we gotta do is just gather our last couple random blocks here and there. It's a lot of like small stuff, except for the slabs. So we are going to do the slabs next. I'm thinking of deep slate tiles. If you guys know what those look like, I'm a big fan of those. So we're going to go gather the rest of this stuff up, and then we're going to go start building our gold farm. Alright guys, so we have got all of our materials except for the honey blocks. So with that being said, this is our solution for getting our last couple honey blocks. 1 flower and 8 beehives. They are kind of colliding a lot, so I'm thinking maybe I should add a couple more flowers just to make this a little bit faster. But yeah, so we just need 8 honey blocks, and then we should be ready to start building. Alright guys, we finally got everything. Let's finally get to work. Wait a second. Hold on guys. One last thing. Alright guys, after that brief intermission, we went and got ourselves some Frostwalker diamond boots. So if you don't know, if you're wearing a pair of these and you walk on some magma blocks, you won't take damage. Normally if you're standing on magma blocks, you'll take damage and you have to shift to not take damage. But now we can put these boots on and we won't take any damage by walking on these. And it'll be way easier to place all these magma blocks. Now back to work. Alright guys, and as I'm sure you can see, we have completely finished each of the spawning floors here for our zombified piglins, along with our gas-proof spawning along the top here. So that's what these slabs are. I'm sure you guys saw all the gas that we're spawning. Also, check it out, we got access to the happy gas early. Check it out, guys. Anyways, now the next thing that we're gonna do is we actually have to make 4 little platforms out here on each of the edges with a piglin on each. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build out from, oops, let me make sure my boots are back on. So we're gonna build out on the edge on each of these spots here. All right, so now we have these couple extended platforms here on the side of each of our farms. So you can see there's one here, there's one on each side, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take one of these piglins and actually push it all the way out to the edge, because what this is gonna do is, I'm sure you guys know, when you hit one of these guys, it angers every single one around you. But what these guys are going to do, with them being like stuck out here, they're going to continue to make the piglins that spawn also angry to keep coming at you. So like, if you kill off all the piglins, of course they're going to stop being angry and everything, but these guys are just going to continuously keep the new spawning piglins angry at you, so they keep coming to the middle and you can keep farming them. And we're going to need one on each side, so we're going to have to push them off to the side on every single one. And then once we have him in his permanent spot, we're just gonna take a name tag and name him, and he's gonna be here forever now. This guy is never gonna move, along with the other 4 we're about to put there. Okay, so I'll be right back. We're gonna put all these guys and then we'll start building up the center area. Alright guys, so another update. Our friends are now all set up on each of the edges of the farm here. So now we have to be very careful not to actually aggravate any of these zombified piglins. But now we're going to build up this center area to actually keep us safe. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse this last little bit up here, and then the top part of our farm will all be done. And then we'll start working on the redstone and the computer part and the confusing stuff underneath. Alright guys, we're in our little safety cage now. So if we go ahead and fly out here, this entire box is made out of bottom slabs, so that way nothing can actually spawn on here, nothing can come get us, and there's gaps in between, and then we just shoot a zombie piglin and then they'll all run right here, and then we'll set up the little chamber here. But the reason we have this closed off is because magma cubes can actually spawn up here and we don't want them to come kill us. And then we have this little funnel just so everything goes in right here in this gap. Now, how are we going to collect them? Well, that's where the next part comes in, and it is a little tricky. So we're gonna have to place the droppers first, and then we're gonna do a little bit of piston trickery with some minecarts, and we're gonna set up the collection area. All right, so now the next question is, how are we actually going to collect all the gold and rotten flesh and everything that comes out? That's where these droppers are gonna come in. So we're going to need our, where are our hoppers at? Okay, so we're gonna need some hoppers, and we're of course gonna have to connect a hopper down to every single dropper here. The thing is, normally hoppers can't pull through blocks, so that's what we have all these hopper minecarts for. So if we put these back in here, now we're gonna do a little trick here where we're actually gonna be able to have the hopper minecarts pull into 2 hoppers here and kind of split the items from one spot here into 9 different hoppers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place some fences down, and then if we place some, oh, okay, hold on. Not like that. That's, well, okay, that's a little bit of an issue now. And you know what? I'm actually going to do this other side first, because this one is probably going to be easier. So what we're going to do is place our rail down. Then we're going to place our minecart with a hopper and push it over as close to that fence as possible. And then place it down. Second minecart with hopper right there. They should be careful not to touch the one next to it. And now of course my fences are down in here, and then the last one on this side. So there we go, we now have 3. Oh, okay, crisis averted, because the hopper minecart is over 2 hoppers here. It actually didn't fall down, so that is a-okay. Now let's just drop down this way, and now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So now of course we're just gonna place our rail down and our hopper minecart and push it into the fence, hopefully. Okay, just like that, perfect. So now we can break that. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, we're gonna have to clear these out for a second. And now we're gonna have to redo that one on the other side. Awesome.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Goodbye, minecart. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, crisis averted. We're back to square one here. So we're gonna hop down here, place our hopper minecart, and then just push it into the fence, just like that. So now we're gonna repeat the same all the way across with our last 3 minecarts. And there we go. Okay, this is now set up. We're gonna break these fences, and now these hopper minecarts are now placed perfectly. And we're not gonna mess with them again. We're gonna place these back, and now the next thing I know you guys might be asking, how are we gonna have a floor here and not actually mess up these minecarts? So what you can do actually is if you take a piston and place it upside down on this block, we're gonna place a slab right there. And we're just gonna place 3 all the way across because we need 3 on each one. And we take a redstone torch. Hopefully, I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, can I place it here? Okay, there we go, that works. You can now see that the slab is actually in the hopper minecart, but it's not breaking it. So this is like, it's kind of a glitch, but it allows the floor to be here and also the hopper minecart to still pick up blocks through the thing. So now we're just gonna do the same on this one and then do one more right here. Let's just not be stupid here and let's just do this. Okay, so that's that now. Let's see, we lost a torch. Okay, so it's down there in the hopper somewhere, that's fine. We'll deal with that later, but we don't need this anymore. We don't need the rails. Okay, so now that we have this all set up, what do we need to do next? Carpets need to go on here so nothing can spawn in here. And then the last thing we need is our honey blocks here. So now what this is gonna do is our honey blocks are actually gonna go right here. So these are non-fully solid blocks, so items can pick up through here with hoppers or with hopper minecarts. But also what this does is when these zombie piglin fall in here, they're actually not gonna be able to get out. So you can't really jump on these things. And this is a block and a half high. So everything's gonna be trapped in here. Then we're gonna be able to stand right here and just swing at everything. Meanwhile, the 6 hopper minecarts here are further splitting into 9 droppers here. And then these are gonna start dropping all the items down. And then we're gonna store everything down here. But now this top part is actually all done. And if we wanted to, we could go ahead and hit one of these guys and start farming them, but I don't think I want to do that yet. So the last part here is the bottom storage area and the redstone for sorting everything. So we're gonna go ahead and time lapse this and then I'll kind of explain it to you guys afterwards. It's pretty complex redstone, but as Mumbo Jumbo would say, it's really quite simple. So yeah, we're gonna hop into it, build some redstone, build our storage, and then this should be up and running. Alright guys, so we have our redstone contraption fully built up now. You can see it here behind me. Have a look around. It looks like quite the jumbled mess. But the last thing that we're going to build here is, I actually want to show you guys this on camera, kind of explain it. So we already kind of have the start of it. So if we look up at this block here, we have a lever connected, right? And what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a redstone clock that can be toggled on and off. So what we do is we place a redstone torch here, right? Followed by repeaters all the way down. These are powered on this side, and then if we come down this way, you can see that now it's kind of going in this repeating motion, right? And what this is doing is actually powering on all of our pistons here, our piston pushers. So this is how we're going to get the items out of the droppers down into this little channel here, and then the slime block is going to shoot it along the ice here. All the timings should be set properly. There shouldn't be any issues. So what this is going to do is it's going to push the items up against this honey block here, and the honey block aligns it halfway over the hopper and halfway over the ice here. So then when this slime block hits it, it slides all the way down over the hoppers and kind of sorts the items until it gets to here, slides across, same thing, until it gets to here, slides all the way down. All the swords and everything will burn here. These are all going to be rotten flesh. One here is for our head plugin, so how we get mob heads, and then all these are going to be for the gold ingots. And and the gold nuggets. So now we just have to set the item filters. The other thing is this farm uses looting, so we can use looting for this farm to get more drops and everything. It also gives experience, so this is the best experience farm we have now. So then of course the hopper minecarts pick up the items, split it into 9 hoppers which go into the droppers here. All of these observers here are going to turn on all the droppers, drop the items down, and they're just going to flow around and get sorted. The other thing here is the items go into these crafters first, they get crafted, go into the barrels, and then they just get sorted all the way down, starting with this chest, and then the gold ingots just fill up each of these chests until it gets here. The other thing, this is overflow protection. So the way this works is hoppers always pull down first before pushing to the side. So even though this comes before this last chest, this will actually fill up with gold ingots first before this fills up. So the gold ingots will go here to this chest, these hoppers will fill up, and once this one's fully filled, then anything extra is going to go into this lava here and not lag out our system. And then any rotten flesh or anything else also will overflow here. So we have overflow protection, won't lag out, and this should be enough hoppers and everything to actually pull all the items, because before I tried it with just 3 hoppers and it couldn't handle the amount of items quick enough. So hopefully this is fast enough, and now we just got to set the item filters and we should be good to go. Alright guys, it's time for the moment of truth. Hopefully we didn't mess anything up. Okay, so first we're going to turn on our timer here to get our pushers going, make sure those are all working, and then we're going to turn on our other one here for the droppers, and you can hear them all going. That's quite loud. Now the only last thing to do is to take our bow. We gotta make sure we don't shoot that guy or any of the guys out on the sides, and just shoot one of these guys and see what happens. Okay. Right, so that's what's supposed to happen. They're all supposed to get angered. If we stand right down here, sure enough, they should start landing in here. And we added trapdoors too. That was one thing I forgot, so the little baby ones can't get out. And if we just hit them with our sword with sweeping edge, sure enough, it's probably pretty loud. Maybe I should turn this down for you guys a little bit. Okay guys, I turned it down a little bit, so hopefully it's not as bad now. So now all we gotta do, guys, is stand here and whack at these guys. And we're going to get tons of gold, tons of rotten flesh that we can trade for emeralds, tons of swords which are just going to go into the lava. But as you can see, everything is being picked up and is being thrown out down here, and the pushers push it down into the spots here. And then if we take a look down here, you can see it pushes it against the hoppers here, goes all the way down. The swords, I don't know where oh, you know where those are going? They're going in this chest. I completely forgot about this one because we're trying to get a zombie piglin head for that one. So that one's just going to be filled with random crap right now that I think about it. Actually, let's go fix that one. Also, we're already up to 31 levels, so we're getting tons of experience from this also. So one second, let's go down here and take a look at this filter. So just like I guessed, we're getting a bunch of swords and actually rotten flesh down here. So we just need to let that go until we get a zombie piglin head. Then we can set that filter, and then that one won't be an issue anymore. But until then, we're gonna come up here, we're gonna take our almost broken tools, and we're gonna swing at these guys a little bit more. Alright guys, so we ran our farm for a little bit, and it's actually still producing way too fast for the minecarts and the hoppers, but you know, that's okay. We're not going to be using it 24/7. We also are up to 93 levels from it, so it is very good for experience. But with that being said, that is going to wrap up the episode today, guys. If you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to let me know down below in the comments and by leaving a like on the video. And if you made it this far and you're not already, please remember to subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.